What's up, and welcome to the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I'm your host, Kat Kozad, manifestation expert, money mindset and fulfillment coach, and multiple six-figure entrepreneur. Come sit with me while I spill the real tea on what it's like to practice using intentional manifestation, demystify all of the woo-woo and confusing bullshit that comes along with creating the life of your dreams, and give you a realistic view of what it's like to be on a personal, spiritual, and professional growth journey. The goal of this podcast is to support and guide you towards manifesting all of your dreams, shed light on the things that people are too scared to talk about, and encourage you to become the person who gets to have it all, be it all, and do it all. I am so happy you are here. Let's fucking do this thing. What's up, loves? Welcome back to another episode of the No Bullshit Manifestation Show. I am so freaking excited to announce, if you haven't already seen it on my Instagram, that the Abundant AF Babe Academy 2.0 is open for enrollment right now. So if you listen to the podcast, you've probably heard me talk about the Abundant AF Babe Academy. That is my signature online manifestation program that has been specially designed to help you attract and manifest more money, abundance, and freedom without having to work so damn hard for it. And with this 2.0 version, I have taken all of the most incredible parts of the Abundant AF Babe Academy and expanded even further on them to give you a even more refined and streamlined process to help you attract and manifest the life of your dreams, to help you attract and manifest that money, that abundance, that freedom that you truly desire. And after working behind the scenes and working so intimately with my clients to help them get the most incredible results, this is all of, like I said, the best parts and the most effective parts put into one program for you. So I am super excited, like I said, to have that open for enrollment right now. The door closes for enrollment on August 9th. 2022. So that is this upcoming Tuesday. So if you are listening to the podcast before that date, please be sure to go hit the link down below in the show notes to apply to the Abundant AF Babe Academy, to hop on a call with me to see if this is a good fit for you and to get you set up for success to start manifesting all of the things that you desire. And if you have any questions about the Abundant AF Babe Academy 2.0, please feel free to send me a message on Instagram. I am more than happy to answer any and all questions that you have about ABA 2.0 to help you decide if this is a good fit for you. But if you've been on the fence, if this is something that you've been thinking about, if you've been wanting to work with me, there is no better time than right now joining the Abundant AF Babe Academy, because I will also say that this is the only time that this offer as itself stands, because the next time I open enrollment for the Abundant AF Babe Academy, the tuition for it will go up. So right now is the perfect time to hop on board, become a part of the Academy, and really start to attract and manifest the things that you desire into your life, and have that super intimate support from me, because right now it's also a super, super small group. I'm only opening 15 spots in this round of the Academy to make sure that the women that come on board get the highest level of support. So like I said, if you've been on the fence, if you've been thinking about it, go hit the link down below in the show notes and apply to the Abundant AF Babe Academy 2.0 so that we can really help you start to attract and manifest all of the things that you're wanting. But with all of that being said, I thought that it would be very fitting to talk about money manifestation on today's podcast episode, because as you know, if you listen to the podcast, ABA is all about helping you really tap into a greater wealth frequency and attract and manifest more money into your life with so much more ease. So I want to talk about how money manifestation has become so effortless in my life and how you can start to effortlessly attract money into your life. So to kick this off, the most important thing, or I would say maybe not the most important thing, but the very first thing that you need to become aware of when you want to attract and manifest more money into your life is what your current money story is. And what I mean by what your current money story is what is the way that you talk about money? What is the way that you feel about money? What is the way that you engage with money? What are the beliefs that you have about money? What are the overall behaviors and actions that you take when it comes to money? Because that right there is what your money story is based off of and what your set point of attraction and your energetic homeostasis, I like to call it, like your natural set point around money lies. And this is super important to become aware of. One of the biggest things that I see in the world of manifestation that just doesn't work is the fact that people are wanting to create these big, beautiful, abundant realities without addressing the underlying things that are holding them back from having those things in the first place. So you can do all the manifestation methods on YouTube and TikTok and whatnot that you want, and they most likely 98% of the time will not work unless you are addressing the underlying energy that is surrounding your relationship with money, that is surrounding the way that you naturally will call in and attract money into your life. Because without that piece, you're going to stick in your old money story. You're going to stick in the things that have created the financial reality that you have right now. And I can imagine that if you're listening to this podcast, you want to change your financial reality. And props to you for wanting to change that financial reality, because you deserve to have every single thing that you want. You deserve to manifest the money that you desire in your life. But like I've been saying, it's really hard to do that if you aren't addressing that underlying story, if you're not addressing what are the things that are holding you back from having all of the abundance that you want in your life. So really good places to start to look at these things is what are, like I've been saying, what are the actual ways that you talk about money? Something that I am hyper aware of now that I've done so much work on my money story and the way that I engage with money is hearing just how it's so widely accepted and almost expected in our societies to talk about how expensive things are and how to talk about how you'll never get ahead, or that you're going to have to work your ass off until the day that you die, or that you can't have X, Y, and Z until you do whatever it is in order to make that thing happen. And none of those things are true. They're only true because you're saying they're true for you. Because that's the thing with manifestation and with the way that our lives play out, is that things are only true for us if we say that they are true for us, if we only identify with them and believe in the fact that they are true for us. So when you are attracting and manifesting money, if you believe that the only way that you are going to have money is if you save every single penny that you have, you invest everything, you work your ass off, you have to hustle, XYZ, then yes, that is going to be the story that is true for you. But if you believe that you can enjoy your life and spend your money in the way that you want to, and yes, also invest, also save if you want to, but that reality is also going to lead you to the place that you have more money than you know what to do with, then that gets to become true as well. And that's been the story, and that's been the reality for me, is that I used to think that I had to work my ass off every single day, that I had to save everything that I had, that I couldn't enjoy or use my money in the way that I wanted to, because that means that I would be fucked up for what I was going to have later on in life. And that is the reality that manifested, because if you've listened to the podcast, you've heard me say this before, we manifest into our lives what we believe with absolute certainty. And for majority of people, what we believe with absolute certainty is so subconscious that you are not even aware of the stories that you are telling yourself, about your life, and about money. So like I've been saying, with creating this shift, creating this life where money gets to be effortless for you, you have to become aware of what are the limitations that you currently have in place for yourself and start to address where you learn them from and start to heal from them so that you can actually create a new supportive belief system that is going to help you naturally attract more money in, just for being you, just for living the life that you want to live, just for following your heart's desires. Because that is the shift that I've made for myself, is the fact that I now know with every single ounce of my being that the more that I choose to follow my heart's desires, the more that I choose to have fun, the more that I choose to explore and play and see the world, the more money I receive. And that was a huge shift from my old belief system that was, if I wasn't working, if I wasn't face down, booty up in the grind and in the hustle, then I wasn't going to make money. And making that shift is so possible, but it truly starts with you becoming aware of your money story. And only from that point are you actually able to start to release those things and step into a new reality. But that goes into the next piece of this, is like, once you've become aware what your money story is, then it is your duty to release the behaviors and the thought patterns that do not serve you. So some examples of behaviors and beliefs that do not serve you, that are keeping you stuck in less than ideal financial circumstances, is holding on to all of your money out of fear. And this is one of the ones that I see with so many people, that they think they're doing the quote unquote right thing, is like holding on to all of their money because they've been so conditioned to believe that they need to hold on to their money in case of an emergency, or to be able to have the things that they want later on in life, or that it's wrong or bad for you to spend your money because of whatever reason. And because you're holding on to all of your money out of fear, that lack, that not enough sort of energy then gets projected into the money that you do have, which then doesn't create any sort of abundance. It just creates even more of this lack feeling inside of you, which then manifests in the behavior of feeling as though you need to do more and work more and receive more money to try and create this sense of safety inside of yourself. But it's like that safety isn't going to be there if the energy behind that money is fear. Because it's not about the actual physical thing, it's about the emotion behind it. You could have all the money in the world, but if you still felt as though that money wasn't enough, then you wouldn't feel safe. And that's such a common misconception with people, is that they think that if they hit a certain financial goal, then they're going to feel safe enough. But the reality is like, if you do not feel safe inside of yourself, you are not going to feel safe when you have $1 million sitting in your bank account, or however much money sitting in your bank account that you desire. The money isn't going to be the thing that changes it for you. You have to be the thing that changes it for yourself. So going back to these behaviors that do not serve you and keep you in the energetic field of attracting, manifesting more less than ideal circumstances with your money, that's a huge one. Another huge one is spending all of your money on other people to try and gain their love and validation. So this has been a huge one with the women that I've worked with. One of the biggest patterns that I've seen is that because they have had some sort of people-pleasing tendency in the past, or they are actively working through being a people pleaser, one of the ways that money is used in our lives is to help us mask our insecurities and to help mask or amplify the things that are underneath the surface. So a lot of the times when it comes to money manifestation, and if you listen to the podcast, you've heard me say this a million times, is that money manifestation hardly ever has anything to do with money, and it has everything to do with our relationship to ourselves, the way we perceive fear, judgment, failure, discomfort, relationship to ourselves, the world, etc. And through those different behaviors and limiting beliefs and traumas and whatnot that have created this disconnect from ourselves, disconnect from our heart centers and from our truth inside of our bodies, then money is going to be used to either try and mask that or amplify those different things. So typically a lot of the times for like people pleasers, they will spend a lot of their money on other people because they feel as though that is a way to try and get love and validation from people in their lives. But in reality, once again, the energy behind that interaction with money is coming from the energy of not enough. It's coming from the energy of lack. So therefore, as you spend that money, as you use that money, you're projecting the energy of not enough and of lack out into the universe, which then creates an energetic exchange. Anytime you spend money, it is an energetic exchange. And therefore, by the universal law of attraction, you will attract back in, once again, less than ideal financial circumstances because the energy behind it is not an energy that is supportive to you having, being, doing all of the things that you want, having more than enough money, and truly being in this energy of abundance. And one last final example on another behavior that you must release, and that is super detrimental to you naturally and effortlessly manifesting more money into your lives, is talking shit about money. And once again, this is one of the most common things that I see in our society, and I am so hyper aware of because of the work that I've done on my relationship to money, is that a lot of the times, especially with women who are on this path of wanting to attract and manifest more money into their lives using manifestation, the law of attraction, etc., they will do all of this work behind the scenes where they are working on their money mindset, they're writing their affirmations out, they're creating this beautiful relationship with money. And then as soon as they get into the environment with other people who haven't healed their relationship with money, they just go straight back to the shit talk of their finances, of how expensive things are, of the housing market, of gas prices, of pay rates, etc. And that is so detrimental to your money manifestations because that is going to put you in the position where, once again, you're projecting out this harmful energy surrounding money out into the universe, creates that energetic exchange with money, and then you don't attract back in the money that you want because you're sending out these mixed signals into the universe. You're working behind the scenes to really create this shift, this change in your vibration with your money mindset, but then letting that all go when other people are around or when the going gets tough, something pops up, there's an unexpected bill or payment or whatever it is. When you revert to the old money story, the shit talk, the downplaying money, the feelings of not enough, then that is what is actually going to manifest. Because when you're on this journey of really creating an abundant mindset and shifting the belief system and creating a new supportive belief system that is going to naturally allow you to attract and manifest more money into your life, it requires you to show up in that energy, even and especially when it is not easy. And I can definitely relate to this. When I first started my intentional manifestation journey and was working through my money story, I was put in those positions often where I had people in my life that were talking shit about money, who constantly felt like they never had enough. And I know how uncomfortable it is to be in that kind of situation and to not just agree with them and say, yep, everything is expensive and yep, I'll never get the house, or I'll never have the car, or I can never pay off my debt, or XYZ. But it's okay to feel that discomfort, because feeling that discomfort for not agreeing with those people is actually going to do so much for your vibration to help you elevate into a greater place, because just giving into it is lowering your vibration down, but holding yourself in a place of discomfort to remain in an abundance mindset is one of the most powerful things that you can do when starting to really shift your behaviors around your money story and start to establish a money story that is going to support you. So those are just 3 examples, and I wanted to give you those examples so that you could actually see what I mean when I say releasing the behaviors and the beliefs that do not serve you. But there are so many, so many of these, and this is what we dive into inside of the Abundant AF Babe Academy. So if this is something that's resonating with you, like I said at the beginning of the episode, click the link down below in the show notes to apply to the Abundant AF Babe Academy, because it is going to help you completely obliterate all of those unsupportive beliefs and unsupportive behaviors that have been holding you in the position of not receiving the money that you desire and not attracting the money that you desire, so that you can finally step into that energy of abundance. And the last piece of this that is the most important part of the manifestation process always is aligning your energy with the version of yourself who already has what you desire. So in this specific example for this episode, talking about manifesting money effortlessly, when you are becoming the embodiment and aligning your energy with the version of yourself who already has what you want, your goal is to step into the energy of the version of yourself who already has the money that you desire. So who is this version of you? This is something that if you haven't already thought about, you want to start to get curious about and start to explore, because once again, we cannot attract and manifest into our lives what we do not believe. And if there is not even a vision or a understanding of what life could look like for you, if you were to break past your current glass ceilings that you have for money and for what is available to you in life, then it's going to be really challenging for you to then just manifest pots of money into your life and have the things that you want. We have to have some sort of vision of this. So for me right now in my life, this looks a lot different for me than when I first started. But when I first started, I was in the position that I was making less than $2,000 a month. I worked paycheck to paycheck for almost all of my life, and I really just didn't know much of a reality outside of that. But I decided I wanted to get clear on the version of myself who had more than enough money sitting in the bank, who had more than enough coming in every single month. And so what I started to get clear on, the version of myself that I wanted to become the embodiment of, was a successful online coach that was making at least $10,000 a month. And so although at the time I was a barista that was making less than $2,000 a month, I made it my duty on a daily basis to get into the belief system, into the behaviors and the actions and the emotional state of the version of myself who was already making $10,000 a month and who already had their own successful online coaching business. And then I went in with that mindset to my actual day-to-day life at that time, which was, like I said, working as a barista, driving an old beat-down car that broke down all the time, feeling really disconnected from a lot of the truth that I've now found inside of myself. And I made it my duty on a daily basis to recognize like where I was at and where I wanted to go, and slowly but surely take the steps to align with that energy and meet myself halfway, meet the universe halfway in creating this new reality. And through becoming the embodiment of that manifestation, I started my business. And if you've listened to the podcast, you've already heard me say this probably a million times. But 3 months into business, I hit my first 10K month, and I haven't seen less than that since. So that is a perfect example of you becoming the embodiment of it, is really getting clear on who it is that you want to become and taking those active, deliberate, aligned steps on a daily basis to get there mentally, emotionally, and physically. And then now in my life, this looks a hell of a lot different. I have the vision of myself who's a millionaire. And what I now do is I have this very clear understanding of what it looks like for me to be a millionaire, what it looks like for me to have that level of money that I can spend on luxury and spend on apartments and spend on all of these different things that I desire in my life. And mentally, emotionally, and physically, my duty on a daily basis is to get myself into alignment with that. And what I suggest for everyone listening to this podcast is that wherever you're at right now, start to take the steps. Like, start to identify, like, what is a step up from where you're at right now? You don't have to go from 0 to 100. You don't have to go from making less than $2,000 a month to wanting to immediately jump up into this place of manifesting millions of dollars, because the reality is that that's not realistic for your subconscious mind, and your subconscious mind is always trying to keep you safe and will reject that completely, because there's no way for you to even understand what that looks like and how that would be. Unless you have lots of millionaires in your life and you have actual evidence of what it looks like. But for the average person, it's like you don't. And so therefore, what I like to do and what I like to call it is the ladder of believability. You want to recognize where you're at right now and what's a step up from that place that feels like a little bit of a stretch, but still feels like it's doable in your life. And you are going to start to take the steps to reach that first peg on the ladder of believability. And then once you reach that place, you can set the intention, you can set the goal for the next level above that. And that's the way that I've been able to create and achieve such incredible success in my life, is like every single time I have a goal for myself, I set an intention for myself, it's a step above where I'm at right now, so that I'm able to fully wrap my subconscious mind, my emotions, and my behaviors behind it to start to elevate into that place. So there you have it. And lastly on this, I can say one of the most important things that you can do, and this is what I attribute so much of my success to, is finding the people who have the life that you want to live and learning from them. So find the person who has the life that you desire to live and find a way to learn how they created that life. That is what I have done. I have chose to learn from mentors and people who have lived this life full of freedom that I now have, who have the money that I desire, the relationships that I desire, the adventure, the business, etc. And I have chose to invest in them and learn from them, because they have the blueprint that can help you get from where you're at right now to where you're wanting to go, and actually accelerate that process so that you're able to make it happen. And I've now mentioned it 3 times, but this is exactly why I've created the Abundant AF Babe Academy 2.0, because I have that blueprint of how I went from $70,000 in debt, not making enough money to survive, working 60 plus hours a week in a job that I absolutely hated, and feeling so unfulfilled and hopeless in my life, to creating a life full of complete freedom. Complete time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, freedom inside of myself, unwavering self-worth, confidence, trust, knowing, and have now been able to travel all around the world, build my dream life in New York City, and just live a life that I genuinely never thought was possible. That is exactly what I teach you inside of the Abundant AF Babe Academy. I teach you all that I have done to help you also get to this place in your life. And one of the coolest things about hiring coaches is the fact that this timeline that has taken me to create this life you collapse the timeline from learning from somebody who's already done it. So the mentors that I've learned from, the timelines that it's taken them, I've collapsed that and I've done it in such a short amount of time. And you learning from me, we can collapse that timeline together and help you get the result that you want through learning all of the things that I teach inside of this academy. So one last time, link to apply is down below in the show notes, but that is all that I have for you on this podcast episode, and I will chat with you on the next one. Oh my gosh, thank you for listening to today's episode. I am so grateful to have these no bullshit talks with you. If you enjoyed today's episode or the podcast as a whole, please spread the love by leaving me a review on iTunes or sharing the podcast with others. This is how I will be able to spread more of these good vibes and be able to make more of an impact on the lives of others. And if you're not already part of all of the goodness and communities that I have to offer, check out the show notes. I have links to the different ways that I can support you on your manifestation journey and help you live a life full of more money, fulfillment, and freedom. But that is all for now. So big love and hugs, and I will chat with you soon, babe.